In this video, we're going to solve applications with absolute value. It says a dairy farmer ideally produces 800 gallons of milk per day. This total can vary by as much as 40 gallons. What is the maximum and minimum expected daily production? So 40 gallons, that's our tolerance here. And I'm going to say that X will represent, let's see, X represents the number of gallons produced. So, if I want to ideally get 800 gallons, I would take the number of gallons that I do produce, subtract it from 800, and then I'm going to take the absolute value of that number to see how far am I off from my goal, right? So if I had like 805 minus 800, that would tell me that I'm 5 off my goal. Or if I had 795 minus 800, that'd be negative 5, and the absolute value would tell me I'm still 5 from my goal. But they tell us that I want to be, this total can vary by as much as 40 gallons. So I want to be less than or equal to 40 gallons here. So we want to find the minimum and the maximum here. Well, I have an absolute value inequality that this says I have to be no more than 40 from my 800 gallons essentially. So I'm going to go ahead and write this as I could be less than 40. So negative 40 less than or equal to X minus 800. And I could also be above the 800 by 40. Okay, so I write a compound inequality. Write a compound inequality. And then I'm going to add 800 to each side. And that tells me that my minimum would be 760 gallons of milk, and my maximum would be 840 gallons of milk. Let's do another example. In this problem, it says a coffee shop sells coffee to about 500 people every morning, but this can vary by as many as 60 people. On any given day, what are the minimum or the maximum and minimum numbers of people expected by coffee? Similar problem. I'm going to say X is equal to the number of, let's see, coffee shop customers. On a given day. Okay? And I'm going to say that X minus, I want 500 each day. So X minus 500 will tell me how far I'm off. But I want to take the absolute value because sometimes I could have like, maybe it was only 400 showed up today, and that would show up as a negative number. I want that to be a positive number, the distance from 0. And they say, but this can vary as much as 60 people. So that means I want this to be, if it can vary as much as 60 people, we'll go ahead and say that that's less than or equal to 60. So it's like no more than 60 people. Just like the previous problem, I'm going to write a compound inequality. And when I do that, I have negative 60, which is less than or equal to X minus 500, which is less than or equal to 60. So I can be a little below it or a little above that 500 mark. Let's add 500 to each side. And we end up with 440 less than or equal to X less than or equal to 560. So my minimum is 440 customers and my maximum is 560.